So a couple of days ago, me and my buddy Chris were talking about the comparisons of dating Thai women compared to dating women back home, Western women, American women, and the comparisons between dating the two. And one of our mutual friends, Eli, his wife is an English teacher here in Chiang Mai. Now, female English teachers here in Thailand, it's a very small insular group, so everybody's friends with everyone. One of the main discussions amongst their female English teaching group of friends here in Chiang Mai is about the challenges and the difficulties of why they're unable to date here in Thailand. One of their biggest complaints amongst female expat teachers here in Chiang Mai, or I would assume like all over Thailand, is why they have a difficult time dating here in Thailand. It seems like nobody wants to date them. Everybody's more interested in dating Thai women. As you can see, when I heard about that, I 150% can tell you the answer right off the bat. And I'm sure many of the guys here that have dated women in the West have grown up dating women in the West versus dating women here in Southeast Asia, particularly here in Thailand, can easily tell you that. We'll get more into that, but first, I need to get some matcha tea. I've actually given up coffee recently because every time I drink coffee, I feel like I'm doing speed, I'm doing crack cocaine. I feel like I've got massive heart palpitations. So I've actually substituted coffee for matcha. And I gotta say, it's probably one of the best things that I've ever done. I'm not turning into a freaking hippie and advocating for some woo-woo type of BS. I'm just switching from coffee to matcha. So we're gonna go get some matcha and we'll continue on with this conversation. Chiang Mai is really nice. Dude, what if I stayed here in Chiang Mai for too long and I end up turning into a hippie? Something that I despise the most. I need to get back to Bangkok soon. Anyways, let's go get some matcha. Trust me, I'm not turning into a hippie just yet. Just yet. I think that one of the reasons why I switched over from coffee to matcha is that it gives me a nice elevated boost of energy. Not that quick rush of energy that you normally get with coffee. So you guys are looking for another alternative. Matcha or green tea. Either one works. Actually, matcha is green tea. What the hell am I talking about? So back in 2017, when I first arrived here to Thailand, I installed a specific app that every single man installs when they travel around the world. You guessed it, it's Tinder. So I was swiping on Tinder and I matched with this one Canadian English teacher that I was seeing in Bangkok for a little bit. She was blonde and she was an English teacher and she was from Canada. So as you can guess, she was very worldly, very liberal, open-minded. So it's kind of like what I would assume and guess how she would act. You know, she had very strong feminist values, which at the time, like, I didn't know any better because this was back 4 years ago, and I was like, whatever. You know, it is what it is because that's how modern women are in this day and age, especially dating women in the West. So eventually, that whole relationship ended, and I started seeing a flight attendant, a local Thai woman who's a flight attendant that she was a flight attendant for Air Asia. And, she was the first Thai woman that I dated. And in between, my traveling and her flight schedules, we would meet up and see each other. And she was my very first experience of dating a local Thai woman. And I gotta say, just the little things of that relationship, I was completely blown away. Every time I would come back to Thailand, she would literally be waiting for me at baggage claim, having everything completely planned out. What really gets you is when women do the little things. It's the little things that matter, like waiting for you at baggage claim, or buying you your favorite cookies, or putting toothpaste on your toothbrush, before going to bed. You know, it's the things that you don't ask for, but it's the things that they do that really get to you. It's those really thoughtful things that I'm just like, aw, thanks. And it just hits right there. Or I normally hardly ever experience that dating Western women, period. Since dating that Thai flight attendant, that became my whole trajectory that I knew for a fact that I'm like, listen, I am completely done dating Western women. I'm done dating American, Canadian, Australian, Western European women, mainly because of this whole current narrative of, you know, modern feminism, this whole narrative of the modern woman, which exemplifies fourth wave feminism. And I can only see this becoming worse and worse. One of the biggest reasons why dating here as a Western woman here in Thailand is so difficult is because, number one, you're in a country here in Thailand where the women significantly outnumber the men. There's a much higher female ratio to male ratio here. Women significantly outnumber men in this country. And when Western women, who are a huge minority here in this country, are competing against Thai women who are much younger, they still embody traditional feminine values, versus, you know, Western women who still have, you know, they've grown up with Western feminism ideologies and they bring that over here. And generally, Western feminism ideologies are very combative towards their partner. As men, we're going to go towards the less combative side, and we want to be around nicer, you know, more cooperative women, which is the local Thai women. So that's definitely one of the biggest reasons why Western men, you know, especially Western male expats here, choose to date the local Thai woman. It's because we generally, I'm not saying all, because there's going to be, you know, a few outlying cases, but there's going to be much more, our overall experiences are generally going to be much more positive dating the local women here, because, you know, both parties, we just keep it simple. You know, we don't keep things too serious, and we just have a good time and take care of each other. That's what's most important. This next part is going to be pretty harsh, but generally most men are going to choose the local younger, you know, Thai women that have a much better personality, much better attitude. Or we can date, you know, a lot of the Western women here, a lot of them being English teachers in their mid to late 40s, or excuse me, in their mid to late 30s, you know, slightly overweight, generally have a very strong feminist attitude towards a lot of things. We're not going to deal with any of that shit. We're just going to go towards the other route and go where we're treated best. So a couple of days ago, me and a couple of friends went to a swimming pool / onsen type of spot around here in Chiang Mai, and that place was filled with foreigners. You know, just to be real with you guys, it was filled with white folks. And you know, there were a ton of you know, I guess American, Canadian, you know, Valley girl type of girls all over this this place, and the tone of their voice, you know, just reminds me of why I will never date Western women ever again. It was pretty much like, it was massive Valley girl accents everywhere. Like, oh my god, Thailand is so great. There's like elephants everywhere. Like, Thailand is amazing. Like, I have not seen so many elephants everywhere. Oh my god. But one thing I really don't like about Thailand is that, you know, every time I go to a Starbucks, they just don't have pumpkin spice latte. If Thailand, you know, if their Starbucks could have PSL, that'd be great, okay? But it's alright. I do love the elephants here. Thailand, yes. Just hearing that Valley girl, white girl voice, like, shoot me in the head, please. So in between this video, I just started talking with the owner of this matcha spot called Chaseki, with the owner Tom over here.
Hey.
And we had a nice, lovely chat. He's actually very, you know, as according from his t-shirt, he's good friends with Mark Wiens. And I just want him to quickly talk about the benefits of drinking matcha and switching over to coffee.
All right, I'll try to keep it short. There are plenty of health benefits of drinking matcha. First of all, it's one of the highest products, or one of the products with the highest amount of antioxidants. If you drink matcha on a daily basis, you don't really get sick. We opened our tea house 3 years ago, and I've been drinking matcha on a daily basis ever since and never got sick. not a single flu, nothing. It's good for your hair, it's good for your skin. Eventually, it will help you with weight loss unless you overeat. And if you're a foodie like me, it's difficult to lose weight every now and then, but eventually it is a very, very healthy product to consume. It is proven that it actually increases your mood. There have been scientific proof that people with depression that drink matcha on a daily basis have less depression and feel much better. In the early stage of our tea house, we had a customer from Sweden who actually suffered from depression, and he confirmed that after drinking matcha on a daily basis at our tea house, he didn't suffer as much as he used to do in the past without medication. So yeah, there are many, many reasons why you should drink matcha.
That's awesome.
Right.
If you guys are ever in Chiang Mai, I know, listen, I swear to you guys, I'm not turning into a hippie, but I'm dead serious about this. If you guys are here in Chiang Mai, check out Tom's spot over in Chaseki Tea House.
Right.
Great spot, good matcha. Okay, we'll talk about the other thing later. Try matcha.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
No problem.
That beef khao soi I had was amazing. It's probably one of my favorite khao soi restaurants here in Chiang Mai. If you guys have never been to Chiang Mai before, is that a dog? Oh god, I gotta go film somewhere else. Hello. Oh shit. Anyways, if you guys haven't had khao soi before here in Chiang Mai, definitely do so. Look it up. It's what Chiang Mai is known for, especially up here in northern Thailand. But kind of in conclusion about what I was just talking about, I think some ways that, well, here's a couple options I kind of thought about how the modern feminist or the modern woman living here in Thailand can improve their dating life. A couple options I thought about. The first one could be, well, the first one is a possible option, but it's highly unlikely it's going to work. It's, well, to kind of change their ideology and, you know, everything that they've been taught in the West about being very combative and independent and all this weird stuff about being indoctrination and, you know, kind of letting go of that whole Meghan Markle energy. So one thing I'm proposing is you might want to shed off this whole Meghan Markle energy of yours and, you know, adopting to a more feminine stance, you know, being more supportive, more cooperative, which I highly doubt that it's gonna work out. One thing that you need to realize is that, you know, as soon as, you know, you threaten to break up your boyfriend, your significant other, your partner here in Thailand, that'd be a terrible, terrible option for you, because I guarantee you within a week or 2 weeks, he's gonna end up dating a new Thai woman, and you will be replaced just like that. Or the more drastic option is that you could always go back to your home country, back in the West, whether it's in America, Canada, Australia, Europe, you know, where you have home field advantage and more people are gonna put up with your Meghan Markle vibes. It could be an option for you. And very lastly, just stay single here. You know, just stay single. Because I think you being able to find a guy that's willing to put up this type of ideology is very few and far between. So, good luck on that. Whether I get canceled for this video or not, I really don't care. This is just a social observation that I've noticed of why a lot of the modern women here, a lot of the modern female expats here aren't getting any dating prospects. It's because of the way you're acting, and you're also in competition. You're in very, very high competition in a country where the women significantly outnumber the men here. And just proposing a couple changes to field your prospects. Whether you take it or not, I really don't care. It's still going to continue on with my life. I've got it good here. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, I gotta say, if you guys gotta take a break from living in Bangkok or any other big city and you want to experience the slow life, Chiang Mai is a really good place. I've been here for close to a month and I'm just thoroughly happy here. So anyways, I love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Love y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.